Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 5 of the F223 Ollie Bearman career mode. Yes, now we're back for the Emilia Romagna feature race. If you missed out on the video that went live yesterday from the sprint, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. We've got a big opportunity here today to try and bump ourselves up the order, but you can see it is all still very much to play for. P5 in the championship, 1 point behind P4 and tied with Enzo Fittipaldi behind us. MP Motorsport have got a front row lockout ready for this one today, so let's get into it.
Welcome to all those joining us as we kick off another round of thrilling Formula 2 racing at Imola. It's 3.1 miles around Imola with 19 turns to master, 9 right-handers and 10 left. And note as well that Imola is one of the few tracks that's driven anti-clockwise. Keep an eye on the exit from turn 18. A good exit there leading into the circuit's only DRS zone will probably be the setup for some of today's best overtaking opportunities. Here are the starting positions for today's race. J.N. Daruvula lines up on pole position, with Dennis Hauger alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Maloney, Hadjar, Ollie Bearman and Pourchaire, Novalak, Benavides, Fittipaldi, Richard Verschoor, Cordial, Vesti, Juan Manuel Correa, Jack Doohan, Martins, Awasa, Nissani, Jack Crawford, Leclerc, Miney, Stanek and Ralph Boschok completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Alongside me today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. There looks to be a challenging race ahead of the drivers today, Davide. With that in mind, what are you looking out for today?
Well, Alex, I want to see how the drivers at the back of the grid are going to roll down. They'll need to make an impact in the early stages, and they're probably hoping for a bit of luck at the start. We may see some bold maneuvers out there today.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Well, here we are then, trackside for the Emilia Romagna GP. And it looks like we could see some changeable conditions by the end of this one. So everyone looks to be trying to gamble on to a set of these super soft tyres later on in the day. But this was not what I was expecting here. This was not on the radar heading into the weekend. So we are potentially in for a big challenge. We've got to keep it clean and tidy. Starting the race on a fresh set of the medium compound of tyres. Of course, we don't know whether the AI are going to do one lap on this set, and then they're going to have to go onto some super softs later on in the day. Looks like they all are starting on mediums, so maybe this has been patched. 5 red lights. It's going to be lights out, and away we go there, or not really for anyone. 3 of the Red Bull back cars have a nightmare getaway. J.N. Daruvula hasn't done much better as we make our way down in towards turn 1, and I'll be potentially about to go from 5th to 1st. At the first corner there, J.N. Daruvula takes a lot of curb on the outside. We'll make sure we'll give him some room. And look at that, the best start I think I will ever have inside F123 there. 5th to 1st before we even get towards the second corner of the lap there. That has been absolutely perfect for us. We cannot complain about that, but of course now we've got to try and keep it clean and tidy in the early stages. Hope that we don't get a safety car or anything like that. But yeah, all eyes, I think, are going to be on the Sky today in this race, just because, you know, there's no intermediates, remember, in FIA Formula 2. So if we can't, you know, make a switch over, we're going to have to be trying to do dry tyres on a wet track. I think the full wets in the F2 cars does often respond a little bit better than in Formula 1. You know, they kind of have a bit more tolerance to them. But this is going to be really scary then, as I'm wondering whether all of our runners have started on their medium compound tyres, hence why we're pulling away so much at the start of this race. But of course, if that rain rolls in, and if we do have to make a switch over to the full wets, say with 5-6 laps to go, then this strategy has basically been all for nothing there. As out of the final corner, yep, J.N. Daruvula into the pit lane. So the AI then had tried to get their medium compound tyres out of the way at the start, and that would explain why we had such a good start. Fred Vesti into the pit lane then, so probably by the end of lap 2, we're going to have about a 30-second lead here, which is still incredibly dumb. See cars heading back out of the pit lane then. It looks like the Trident has been able to get ahead of Jan Aruvula then, so he's certainly lost out in that gaggle. But yeah, I mean, look at that. We've got 5 seconds now over the next car ahead of me. We've basically got the entire middle sector, more than the entire middle sector, as an advantage over who is now likely going to be P2 in this Grand Prix. But, of course, if it still rains, you know, later on in the day, they might not even be able to get to the wet period on that set. That's going to be the only way the AI get into this fight. There we go. Yep, everyone else diving down into the pit lane then. I'd really hope EA fix this. It's so stupid. Yuma Wasa, of course, he's got a fighting chance. I'd forgot about him. That mechanical failure in yesterday's sprint race might ultimately allow him to walk away with a podium today. But, yeah, you know, red flag could obviously really change up anything this afternoon. But where are we going to see all of those AI re-emerge relative to the cars that pit a lap before? I imagine surely they're all going to get undercut, and it's going to create a big chain reaction in the bigger picture here. Good for Fred Vesti. Desperately could do with scoring some points for Prema. And look at that. Yep, Clement Novalak. He's made that strategy work. He's now up into the podium. As I think Fred Vesti up into about P6 then. And is ahead of all of those cars. Well, I don't think it's often we see this in Formula 1 or Formula 2. Or really any racing series for that matter. But by the end of lap 3, the top 3 cars are separated by almost 40 seconds. That being said, Novalak is closing down that gap. You can see those front runners of the Super Softs going about 2 seconds a lap faster than me at the moment. I mean, we've got a 36-second lead, though. When is the rain meant to be arriving, though, today?
No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being.
It's not, apparently, now according to Mark, so maybe this is going to really spring a surprise. Well, I'm looking at the gaps then. Awasa is definitely still going to be in trouble quite soon here, because I don't believe he can get that set of the super soft tyres to the end of the race. That being said, I don't believe that anyone behind him is also going to get their super soft tyres to the end of the race. But Awasa is losing, whoa, time hand over fist. And really, yeah, that's kind of the only way at the moment I can throw away this race, is if I'd been it by myself. I apologise that this might well be the most boring race you ever see on the channel. But please, EA, just fix this game. Wait, almost getting to half distance, and clearly these medium tyres definitely, I wouldn't say falling off yet, but not providing us the grip they once were. Looks like the gap to Novalak is pretty much neutralised though, but Awasa is still losing time each and every lap here. I guess he's just trying to get far enough in that he can bolt on a set of the medium tyres, sorry, the super softs even, to go to the end of the race. And surely that's going to have to be very soon. I believe he's boxed now. Yes, he has. Ayumu Awasa into the pit lane then. So he's going to re-emerge right at the back of the field. But will be on quicker rubber for a short period.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes' time. Rain in 10 minutes.
Okay, so Team do still believe rain is going to be coming in by the end of this one. My plan is try and get these tyres to about the end of lap 12, lap 13. Similar stint length to what I did yesterday. That way we'll have plenty of grip on the fresh set of the Super Softs.
We think we might see some rain, ETA about 15 minutes.
And Mark has already changed his mind on when that rain is going to arrive.
Pit windows open, so let's box this lap, box this lap.
No, thank you. Oh, there we go. Jan Aruvula into the pit lane again, as well as a whole host of other cars. Looks like Fred Vesti is going to now try and hang out there. So Prema have got a 1-2 then in this GP, but it should mean Awasa is back up to the front of the field as well, of course, once everyone else is boxed. But there are definitely a couple of ominous clouds starting to form. There we go, Fred into the pits.
Coming in for a stop now.
To be honest, I'm only now really hanging out here just because I want to see if I can lap an AI in this race. I don't believe I will, because I don't think Awasa is going to pit. But yeah, these mediums, I mean, we've just gone green in the first sector. We're actually coming back into it again as the fuel burns off. We're pretty close. Oh, we're not going to set PBs driving like that. That might just cost me. As Awasa now, a minute behind me in P2. Oh yeah, we're not quite going to be able to lap the second Trident of Roman Stanek here, but yeah, a minute and 10 seconds ahead of Clement Novalak. Let's box the end of this one. There we go, Clem now with a 128.6, so he's not giving up on a Yumo Awasa late on in the day in terms of the overall strategy. But yeah, gutted that I couldn't quite get a lap on Roman Stanek here, just in case, you know, we'd had a safety car or something like that, and we could have upset the AI even more. But first pit stop then of the weekend. Clean and tidy into pit lane here. Of course, yeah, very, very long pit lane. And obviously you combine that with the slower speeds of Formula 2. And it does take a while to get through. So Awasa's probably only going to be about 15 seconds behind me. But come on, let's go. Of course, you combine that with, you know, everything else, and suddenly, yeah, it's a really, really long pit stop. But yeah, we're going to be about 15 seconds ahead of a Yumu, but we are going to be on fresher tyres to the end of the race. Not that I think it's really going to make much difference. It would have just been interesting if we'd had some rain a bit earlier, but that being said, a really cheap win. Kind of happy to take. Let's try and see if we can get fastest lap. You know, I've often said this before on videos, but, you know, kind of my thought process here with this channel is, you know, we try and keep things semi-realistic as well. You know, if there's an opportunity to try and take a cheap win, you spot something that no one else does in real Formula 1, you're always going to take that opportunity. And, you know, I'm not really about scripting or anything like that here on this channel. We just want to try and do the best we can. So we kind of have the same mindset. If there's an opportunity to try and snooker away something, you're obviously going to try and take it. That also being said, though, I really do feel like this weekend I've been able to unlock something in this Formula 2 car as well, just with the way the thing handles and, you know, what you kind of need to do to get pace out of the car. But let's try and put that to good use then. Let's see if we can try and get fastest lap here in the feature race. We took fastest in the sprint yesterday. Can we do what Ollie Bearman did in real life and take maximum points from a Grand Prix weekend? The only Formula 2 driver ever to achieve it. And in the final corner, it's felt like a pretty maximum attack kind of lap. Up towards the line, what is the time gonna be? 28.4. That should be fastest lap. I don't believe the rain is going to arrive before the end of the race, or if it is, it's going to be on the very last lap. Let's just get this thing home and bring away full points. Oh, yellow's out with just over a lap to go. Believe it's Charouz. Don't say it's Brad Benavides. Sorry, in the PHM even. Car, I think it might be. Is that our championship leader out of the Emilia Romagna GP? Yes, it is. Brad Benavides late on in the day. He was going to pick up a few points here, but that is heartbreak for PHM Racing by Charouz. I think I got both names correct when I called that one. The American out late on in the race, and that is going to give myself a huge opportunity here to take big points out of him as we start the final lap then of this Imola circuit. We've had so much fun here this weekend. Yes, we've cheated the strategy disastrously, and we never should have had an easy of a drive of it as we have. I do apologise. You know, in terms of on-track wheel-to-wheel action, neither of these videos have been the most entertaining in the world. But like I keep saying, hopefully this can serve as a reminder.
Be careful out there.
Rain is imminent, but I think we're going to get to the line before it starts falling. But yeah, hopefully, you know, EA, this is a call to you. You've got to fix this. You know, I won't use this strat again. Just because, of course, you know, it is still meant to be entertaining at the end of the day. Plus, I think it probably does only really work at Imola and maybe a couple of other venues that are notoriously gentle on the tyres. But fix this. Give us 2 sets of the medium or the harder compounded tyres for a weekend, because at the moment, it completely ruins the racing aspect of Formula 2 when you're trying to do a full weekend's worth of racing. It's such a shame, because otherwise, you know, I do still really love these cars and the way they drive. But in towards the final few corners then, here from Imola, 18 laps of racing action, and we've pretty much led since the very beginning there. We have not been under pressure today. Out of the final corner, It is going to be the win. It's maximum points from the weekend here at Imola. We absolutely love it.
Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
Great effort there from Kramer to take the victory today. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
This race, this win, was about one thing and one thing only: consistency. Anyone can be quick for just one lap, but there's a difference between that and being quick every lap, over and over and over. If you can do that, if you can gain ground when your opponents make mistakes, but then not make mistakes on your own, you can just push and push.
It looks like it's time for the victory ceremony once again, as I can see the drivers beginning to make their way out for the celebrations. You can see it on their faces. It's another marvellous team win for Prema today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Lots of drivers impressed me today, Alex. But if I have to say one that impressed me most, it's only Bearman.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams Championship. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. Another team that excelled today was Dams, who make further progress up the table. There will be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you'll join us at the next race when Formula 2 returns.
Well, I had entirely forgot about the 2 points available from qualifying on Friday night, so we didn't quite achieve the maximum points this weekend, but 37 there is really not bad going. Clement Novalak, 18 points as well, and Yumo Owasa, of course, kind of carried by that mechanical failure on Saturday, but did mean he was able to score big points come Sunday's race as well there. But you can see, yeah, Novalak P3 in the GP ahead of Fittipaldi there. MP Motorsport really did not utilise it very well. Dennis Hauger all the way down in P14 there. Cordeal, very good recovery drive by him from outside the points to beat for sure my teammate Fred Vesti, Zane Maloney, and Isaac Hajar there. Looked like a lot of drivers got caught out with the with the pit strategy there. But you can see with that result, we leapfrog all the way up to P2 in the championship then, just 5 points back behind Brad Benavides there. Amory Cordeal still in P3, Fittipaldi as well now up into 4th there, and Novalak jumping all the way up into 7th place. And Prema, well, we're just 10 points off the championship lead there. ART, MP Motorsport, Prema, Virtuosi and PHM covered by a result, yeah, that could very easily be swung in just a single race there. This championship, I think, is going to be really, really exciting. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very, very soon when Formula 2 returns to the jewel in the crown. We'll be back ready for the Monaco Grand Prix. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise, and allow me to continue making content full-time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.